It's a bit like a driving instructor, when you first get in a car, you're thinking about everything, move, oh, what do I do next? Oh, I indicate, and it's all very conscious. But after driving for a few years or a few decades, it's easy. You can drive somewhere and be dreaming about something else. Hi there, Frank Flegg here from Ethical Property Partners, where we help committed investors to make annual returns on a monthly basis. In this episode, I'm going to take you all the way back to when I was 19 years old at university. I can remember the room I was sat at Cambridge University, and this tutor came up. She was an amazing tutor, lovely woman. She had at her heart wanting to help people and teach people, and she drew a matrix on the board. She drew a cross and then drew a box around it, so you had 4 quadrants. And I remember it going straight over my head. I just didn't get it at all, and I remember thinking, this is nothing to do with me, this is nothing to do with my career, but actually it's one of the things that I use the most, and it's actually one of the things that my clients struggle with the most as well, and it's called the Competency Matrix. Now, I'm going to give you a few examples about this matrix, but basically you move from the bottom left quadrant all the way around to the bottom right quadrant. So in the bottom left, what you have is an unconsciously incompetent individual. So what that means is you don't know what you don't know. Think of David Brent on The Office. He doesn't know that he's absolutely rubbish. Or think of an alcoholic that thinks it's okay to drink at 9 a.m. He's just a fun-loving person that has a beer at breakfast. They don't know there's a problem to solve. So in a way, it's quite a comfortable place to be because you're blissfully unaware. I'm going to use the metaphor of a 2-year-old who doesn't yet realise that he doesn't know how to tie his shoelaces. And then they grow up a little bit and they realise that everyone else can tie their shoelaces, but I can't. And we're now moving to the top left-hand side of the quadrant, which is consciously incompetent. So we're still on the incompetent half of the matrix, so we're still rubbish at it, we still don't know what we're doing, but now we know that we don't know. And it's a really painful bit. It's the most painful of the 4 quadrants. Perhaps take a 4-year-old. A 4-year-old now realises everyone else has got laces on their shoes, but I can't do my laces. And maybe he keeps trying and keeps failing. This might be if you took David Brent to, it'd have to be a very long seminar, but you take them to a seminar and you maybe show them some videos of how rubbish they're doing, and all of a sudden he thinks, oh my goodness, I'm a rubbish boss. Or let's relate this back to property investing. Most investors don't realise that sophisticated investors get the deals they get not through luck, but by having a system and by upskilling their skills, so improving their skills and practicing those skills and working to a blueprint that works. That is an example of a traditional investor being in the unconsciously incompetent quadrant. They don't know what they don't know. But when our clients come onto EPP, their eyes are awakened to, oh, I need to do this marketing and I need to do this on the phone and this is what I need to say when I get to the vendor's house, etc. Now, they don't know how to do it, but they suddenly realize that there is a process. It can be very empowering as well. It's the alcoholic that says, oh my goodness, I do have a problem. Drinking beer at 9 a.m. is not going to be healthy for me. It's not going to serve me in the long run. I am an alcoholic. Or I'm an investor and now I know that I need to learn how to do telephone fact finds or successful help visits. I need to upskill myself. And then you move, you make the jump. You make the jump across to the top right-hand quadrant, which is where you're now competent, but you're consciously competent. And what that means is you have to now focus and concentrate. Maybe it's the 6-year-old who, if they're really looking at their shoelaces and their focus, they can tie their shoelace. That's consciously competent. So you can do it, but you have to really think about it. So maybe on the phone with a vendor, you're following your script and you're jumping around and you're making notes. And if you're really 100% focused, you can do a quality telephone fact find. Or maybe in a vendor's front room, in your head, you've memorized, I'm going to do rapport building, and then I'm going to ask them why they're selling, and then I'm going to walk around the property, then I'm going to make them the offer based on the price of the works, based on my TFF, etc., etc. So when you're focused, you can do it. And then finally, you get to the most joyous, the most enjoyable, the most easy quadrant, which is unconsciously competent. So now you can do it without even thinking. You or I can tie our shoelaces while having a conversation with someone. Depending on your level of sophistication, I can do a telephone fact find while I'm driving my car on hands-free. I've done hundreds, if not thousands, of telephone fact finds. I know the questions, I can hold the information in my head. It's a bit like a driving instructor. You know, when you first get in a car, you're thinking about everything, move, you know, what do I do next? Oh, I indicate, and it's all very conscious. But after driving for a few years or a few decades, it's easy. You can drive somewhere and be dreaming about something else. That's the unconsciously competent quadrant. And when you get to that point with your sophisticated property investing, it's easy. That's how we're buying 50 plus properties at the moment. That's how we've built a team of over 13 full-time employees at headquarters to support our franchisees. That's how you do sophisticated investing when you get to that unconsciously competent quadrant. Guys, I hope that had a better impact on you than it did on me with my professor several decades ago now. That competency quadrant, have it on the wall, because sometimes you'll be really competent in one area and not in another. Sometimes you'll be unconscious in one area and conscious in another. So it's well worth being aware of that and upskilling yourself at all times. If you want to receive our next episode, then hit the subscribe button, click the notification bell, and you will hear first every single time we come out with quality content about your property investing journey, so that you can take your annual returns from property and start making them on a monthly basis. Until our next episode, happy investing.